Well, if it's Monday night, that means you're listening to the RCWR show with Lee Sanders and yours truly, the evil genius of professional wrestling, the last American capitalist alive today, Titus Machiavelli. We're sitting here going to be talking about Monday Night Raw, the episode following SummerSlam. Lee, solid show, I would think, following the pay-per-view.
Some people may feel a little bit disappointed, and it's very understandable, but honestly, I think 24 hours after coming off a fantastic SummerSlam, which was one of the most things that was talked about, apparently, Titus, on social media, aside from the Kardashians, I'd have to say Raw tonight was fairly good. Look, let's be honest, we can't really, in retrospect, expect too much to have came from out of this episode, as let's not forget, just a couple of weeks away we are from the Labor Day holiday. So if WWE is going to be pushing something really heavy right now, they got about 2 weeks to do it, really, but tonight was okay.
Well, you know, we had a great pay-per-view last night, SummerSlam, as we were talking last night, and first and foremost, wonderful response to our shows from yesterday. Lots of thanks to the listeners and fans and those of you that are out there sharing the show. At one point, Lee, you had posted out that you went on YouTube and typed in WWE SummerSlam 2014, and we were in the top 5. I actually saw us peak at number 2. This is worldwide, folks. That's pretty impressive. So a couple of our review show and our pre-show both did very, very well. Thank you. Keep those comments coming into us, letting us know how we do, keeping us on our toes. If you like what you hear, subscribe, share it, hit it over on Twitter, Facebook, all those things, because that just gets us more fuel to keep doing what we do, right, Lee?
Exactly. And as it stands right now, on August 18th, 2014 at 11:23 p.m. Eastern, it looks like when you type in WWE SummerSlam 2014, we're still on the first page. It looks like we've slipped to maybe number 7. When you add in review at the end of everything I just said before, looks like we're now number 2. That's still pretty damn good. I mean,
solid.
Yeah, it's very solid. We've come a long way. I mean, just think, you know, we first started this channel, Titus, like almost 4 years ago, I think it was. No, wait. We started in 2012, the channel launched. So, I mean, that's pretty damn good. I mean, especially the subscribers. My girlfriend Titus was like, "Have you seen the numbers today?" I said, "No, I'm not. I've already looked at it for this month, which was earlier in the month. I'm not looking at it again until mid-September, but thank you for telling me. Lets me know I'm doing okay."
Well, I'm just happy to be going along for the ride.
Yeah.
But yeah, great response from last night. We'll keep doing what we do. You tell us what you think, and we'll just keep rolling with this as long as we can. But great
Q&A,
show,
Titus. Tell them about some Q&As.
Q&As. What do you mean Q&As? Oh, if you want to ask some questions down below, make sure you put your questions in there, and we'll address those questions as we go along. Love to hear from you guys. Love to hear what your thoughts are on the show. What did you think of Raw tonight? Was it great? Was it good, a solid show, or was it in the tank? Was it nothing that you wanted? I'm going to tell you that I think it was solid. Was it anything compared to last night? Well, no. Last night was a pay-per-view that you could have seen only on the WWE Network for...
Oh, just $9.99.
$9.99. So it was a tremendous pay-per-view. Lots of things to cover tonight. So it was solid. I think my issue going into Raw tonight, as I was saying to you offline, Lee, was I expected something to happen. I expected there to be something. I bought in to your prediction last night that Dave Bautista would be interrupting Brock Lesnar. Did not happen. I bought in. I was expecting something big to happen, and maybe that's why I felt it was a good show, because I had hoped for something a little bit more. But still, solid show, solid card, lots of good matches, including a tremendous main event. Everything that I expected out of these two young men came to fruition. They just entertained the crowd. And, yeah, good show. What'd you think, Lee?
As far as what, bro?
The quality of the show tonight.
I mean, you had some decent matches, but it really did feel like something was missing. And as we were talking off air here, I really would not be too surprised if we learn in the days to come that Raw might have tonight had got several rewrites right down to the point where maybe something big was planned, but they decided at the last minute to just scrap it and just go with what they had. And I know probably a lot of people are going to be singling out one particular thing, which was, oh, well, we didn't have John Cena on this show tonight. Honestly, and I know Titus is a big fan of Cena. For me personally, I actually love those opportunities where we don't have a John Cena because in my mind, it says, okay, you other guys on the WWE roster that, you know, maybe want to have an opportunity to shine. You're tired of certain people always hogging up the spots. You feel that you deserve a little bit of camera time. Well, then this is why you take advantage of these type of opportunities. Not only was John Cena notably missing Titus, but we also had the Ayatollah of Rock and Rolla, Chris Jericho, missing as well. We saw him somewhat in a backstage segment, but that probably
could have easily been taped last night. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, and it, you know, you mentioned it. That was a very bizarre promo. It almost felt like a bit of a heel feel to it, as if he was preparing to tell the WWE Universe to kiss his rear end and head off into the sun. I don't know, it just felt very odd, that promo. But, yeah, kind of a little off, missing some things. Cena obviously was off tonight selling his injuries, which is the right thing to do. A little disappointed that we're going to have him back next week. I would have preferred him to be gone another week or so. But let's just get into the show. We had an opening with Daniel Bryan's music hit, and of course the Las Vegas fans broke into the yes chant. They bought hook, line, and sinker. I did not, and I expected it to be Stephanie, and it was. And Stephanie comes out, instead of a yes, yes, yes shirt, she has a Steph shirt, tight shirt, and as she jumped down the runway there, she was up and down quite a bit. If I were to be respectful as much as possible.
Well, that's where you and me
bouncy.
That's where you and me differ, because I'm not really going to be disrespectful, because everybody kind of knows by now I kind of got that freak nature in me. And, you know, look, we do our best to not throw profanity around and everything like that, but I am aware of the age demographics and all that. I'm probably going to say some raunchy stuff. So for you guys that have kids and all that, this may be an episode you don't want them to watch. Because, look, and I'm going to try to be nice here, all right? She is a woman after all. She's a mother. She's married, so I'll be respectful to her. But Titus, I tell you what I'd give if I was a single man now, to be able to see Stephanie McMahon come into my bedroom just wearing, like, any type of football jersey. I think that's, like, the hottest thing that a woman can wear, is just got the nice legs going on, got the nice hips and all that. They're in a nice football jersey. Have some fun, man. That's all I got to say.
I agree, but I also, the outfit that she wore last night at the SummerSlam, I'd have taken that too.
Oh, yeah.
But Stephanie comes out, puts over, you know, everything that happened last night. Talk about the greatness of the Authority. Seth winning, her winning. Happened to omit Randy Orton's loss. I didn't discuss him at all. That's the black eye of the event for the Authority. But we had Nikki come out, Nikki Bella, and she tripped her way to the ring. You see her lose her shoe coming down the aisleway with those 6-inch heels she was wearing. Nikki Bella can't do a promo, just like Brie can't do a promo. I mean, she said she said things over and over and over. She kept saying, "You know what? You know what? You know what? I mean, you know what?" She said that probably a half a dozen times each. It was really annoying. It was an important promo for her to get her point across, and I think she kind of fumbled the opportunity. Then we had Brie come out and interrupt, but clearly Brie was late. They were both both Nikki and Stephanie were looking to the aisle a couple of times. Never made her way. Brie didn't come down. I think she was late, but sisters going at it with one another. Nikki slaps Brie across the face. Brie sold it, but I put a picture up during that spot that Brie had her eyes closed long before that slap came.
Oh, yeah.
She knew it was coming, and
like a 5-second delay there, man.
Man, it was pretty bad. I was a little disappointed in the opening segment. It should have been much more, and it really wasn't. I think the Bellas, they're the top divas in the company. They're the face of the WWE Divas division, but boy, it was kind of weak. It was weak for me.
Yeah, it was definitely overkill. For me, I was fine when Stephanie came out. I mean, she really set the tone, and I was just really relishing in everything that she was talking about. I was fine with that. But then when you add in, I believe it was it Nikki Bella that came out first?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Nikki comes out, and the moment that I saw her lose her damn shoe, I said to myself, oh yeah, this segment is going to fumble. Homegirl just lost her shoe. And sure enough, that was some really, really hard promo work to sit through. I was just... Ooh, I was like, wait a minute now. Washington Redskins are playing the Cleveland Browns. Maybe I should just... But I kept staying loyal to it. I'm like, I never went to the game, actually. I stayed on WWE Raw because I'm like, hey, maybe we're going to see something really cool here throughout the night. I stayed with it. But that segment was brutal. Then you add in the other Bella. Yeah, they just really could not sell it worth a damn. Less is better, honestly. Less is better. I just wish... After one sister had said whatever, then you just immediately just go to the slap. It could have just been quiet, just a stone cold slap. We get it. We don't need for the WWE to just, because let's be for real, it's us that's watching it along with our kids or younger siblings or whatever, okay? So if the kid doesn't get it, it's our job to educate the kid on what exactly had happened, but we get it. You don't need to be like, so how do you get from the McDonald's to the Subway? And the Subway is basically 2 blocks away, and somebody says to you, okay, well, first you're going to go walk 25 steps down, and then you're going to pass this car that's yellow. You'll know it when you see it. It looks like it might be a Camaro, but it has a Ghostbuster sticker on it. But then after you pass that, right, you're going to go past this house that's pink, and there's going to be a creepy lady sitting in the rocking chair. She's going to be looking at you. For some weird reason, she has a book of Yellow Pages that's there, but as you continue to walk, you'll see this dog always around the same time every day. There's this dog that's tied around the post. It's a Rottweiler. So you go down there, and then you'll see like a Korean store next to an Indonesian store. You'll be able to tell the difference between the two, and then you'll hit the Subway. It's like, no, just be like, hey, how do I get from blah, blah, blah to blah, blah, blah? Oh, well, you just go, and then you're there. Sometimes I just wish they would just not treat us like we're stupid. You know what I'm saying?
If somebody turned on the show right then, they were so freaking lost. What is he talking about? Hell, I had a hard time keeping up, which is really the point of the whole thing. But for you that just joined us, we were Lee was doing his best Nikki and Brie imitation during tonight's show. To close this part out, I would have preferred the Bella sisters being a separate segment from the opening. It didn't need to be the opening. You could have had just Stephanie come out, take a victory lap, do what she does so very well, generate heat, and move on. Unfortunately, we had the Bellas incorporated into all of that, and I think it was damaged the segment. It could have been it could have gone without it.
I like exactly what you said. Space it out. You know, now and later's. Have one now, save one for later. They could have did the Brie Bella thing, confronting Stephanie. Stephanie demanding to know where her sister is. Stephanie could have been like, well,
you'll see soon enough.
Exactly. Stretch it out. Let the fans stick around if they want to check it out, you know, hour 2 or hour 3. You could have had the sister call out the other. One sister says about 5 minutes worth of stuff. Really cut it down to 3. And then you just do the bitch smack, and then that's pretty much it. That was
beginning of hour 2. That could have been it, and move Brock to the beginning of hour 3.
Yeah,
because hour 3 is where the money was for the whole show, anyways. You know, but I digress. We go into the opening contest, which was a bizarre tag team match. You had Harper and Rowan of the Wyatt family going up against Mark Henry and the Big Show. I gotta be honest, I don't watch a lot of SmackDown. I'm assuming this all came together. When did these two become a tag team? How did Big Show just got back? What did I miss? Because these two were tagging up, and then to make it more bizarre to me, Lee, is they go over. So the Wyatts go from having these tremendous matches with the Usos during the summer, and the assumption is these guys are going to win tag team gold at the next pay-per-view, and it doesn't happen. And now they lose to Mark Henry and the Big Show, who aren't even a real tag team. What the hell?
I don't know. I actually wasn't even paying attention to that match. As soon as I heard, well, I was like, oh, yeah, Big Show. Okay, well, yeah, let's just...
It goes back to, we love the Wyatts. We don't know what to do with them.
Love Mark Henry, too.
Oh, I love Mark Henry.
Yeah.
But creative just doesn't know what to do, I don't think. I think they got something it is a unique product in the Wyatts they don't know what to do with. And they don't want him to win gold because they're not about all that. And I get that, but they're relegated to being a second tier to a second tier tag team in Mark Henry and the Big Show. I mean, these two are the last remnants of the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, in retrospect, I kind of understood the positioning that they had Mark Henry because we would see him later in the night.
Which messes with me again. Why was he in a tag team match burying, in my opinion, the Wyatts, only to come out in the third hour and do what he did? We didn't need him in the first hour of a tag team match. He could have just come out. Well, what we're referring to is, let's just go ahead and go to it, Rusev and Lana, the luscious, leggy lady that she is. I'm a big fan of Lana, as you can tell. Lana is doing her little pitch about Vladimir Putin, and Mark Henry comes out, the former Olympic medalist, I believe. Didn't he win a medal, I believe, bronze or something like that? And he starts being a pro-USA. I love this matchup. I love the way these two guys fit up. And I got to tell you, when I saw them side by side, Rusev is a big dude. But Mark Henry dwarfs him. He makes him look small. So I like where this is going. I don't need Mark Henry and the Big Show in a tag team match to opening the show. This would have been just enough for me. I like where this is going to go, but the two don't make sense to me. Why you have them together?
I can see the history there with Mark Henry and Rusev and I like how the commentators, and I know that there's only but so much they can say because they're being spoon-fed a lot of their material most of the time. But correct me if I'm wrong, Titus, I actually remember Rusev and Mark Henry locking it up, and Rusev owned Henry. So for me, I don't quite understand why we couldn't just have Mark Henry come out, still cut the same promo that he had cut, but basically say, you and me, son, we got some unfinished business. You think I have forgot about your ass, but on the contrary, and I see how you operated at SummerSlam, but nah, man, you're not going to continue to insult the American flag and the American people. I kind of wish they would have went with that rather than just go with something so random and spontaneous. I'm in the same position as you're in. I can't recall the last time I watched SmackDown. Not that SmackDown is bad, but I just don't feel motivated to watch it nowadays because it's like basically rehash matches with like a bunch of promos from Monday Night Raw, and it kind of gets a little bit overkill after a while,
Well, I think the problem for me on SmackDown is there's no spontaneity. That's my issue. I can see what happened and just read about it, but that's another show for another day. I got to tell you, one of the things that I really enjoyed tonight, the with the outside of the main event. The main event is separate. The promo with Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose is the moment of the night, minus the main event. We'll get to that in a little bit. That promo was awesome. It was so smart. It was so funny. It was clever. Seth is doing his whole promo about he's Money in the Bank, yada, yada, yada. And then from behind, he gets dunked with a bucket of ice water. If you've paid attention to any sport, any entertainment or whatever, all over the last week or so, you've been having this ice bucket challenge to raise awareness for ALS, which is a great idea. It's created lots of opportunity for ALS to make some real headway financially. Millions of dollars donated. Great thing. So it's relevant. He gets splashed from behind. It's cold ice water. Turns around, and there's that look on Dean Ambrose's face, just like, what? And he's like, and his quote was, what? It's for charity. Throws the bucket in his face, a la Stone Cold and Mr. McMahon with the bedpan. Hits him in the face. The two bust out a fight. Just a great segment. It had comedy. It pushed the storyline. It was the perfect back locker room, backstage area segment. It was perfect. I don't know what to say. It was perfect.
It was. Not only was that perfect, but their main event match, that was really freaking on point as well. I mean, everything that these two guys have been doing so far. Titus, if you had to just rewind the clock a little bit and just go wrestling historian for a bit, what has their work reminded you of?
It reminds me a little bit of HBK and Razor Ramon.
Okay.
The chemistry-wise, they just when you have guys who are as good of friends as Rollins and Ambrose are, like Razor and HBK, like Diesel and HBK, like Triple H and the whole clique. When you have that chemistry, you make magic together because you really are doing things so selflessly that you want your partner in this dance to look great, and their chemistry is really, really good. That's the first thing that comes to my mind was HBK and Razor, especially that Mania ladder match. Just the match tonight was just moments of brilliance over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Who were you thinking?
I was thinking, especially like just that spot, for some weird reason, I just thought about Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty, 1992 barbershop scene, like especially at the end of the night when the match had its abrupt end. I couldn't help but go, damn, because it just kind of reminded me, we never did really get that Marty Jannetty Shawn Michaels rivalry. We never did really have that full circle. It kept getting teased, and Every single time it looked like
We
it was coming
didn't.
close.
We didn't miss anything.
Yeah, I know we didn't miss it.
We didn't miss. Marty Jannetty is forever legendarily known as the member of a tag team who is not going to be a star. That's that. You're the Marty Jannetty on the Shawn Michaels. That's the whole catch now. That's what you are. That's the history that Marty Jannetty leaves behind. Other than that, he really didn't leave a whole lot.
It's
Wasn't
got
a
that.
great wrestler.
It's got that combination though.
Yes.
It's also got Steve Austin, Brian Pillman.
Yes.
What's another one when you just look at it? Friends turned enemies. What's another good one?
You know, as I'm sitting here, Triple H and Randy Orton, when Randy kissed Stephanie and handcuffed Triple H, and Triple H, busted into his house, and that whole they threw him through the front window of the house. That whole rivalry, again, two guys who really get along really well. Those are just the best matchups, is because you just go in wanting your partner to look great, and that's what this whole thing is about. It's a dance, and I want you to look spectacular. You want me to look spectacular, because in turn, if I'm making you look good, then I automatically look good. So those are the great things, and I think these guys, as I said to you earlier, these guys are money. They're money, and they're going to be money for the next 10 years.
Damn good matchup. Damn good matchup.
Tell the kids listening about the main event.
That main event, man, on point. And talk about the weird circumstances for this match too, because apparently you, the fans, had the power to decide the fate of Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. Were they going to fight in a Falls Count Anywhere match?
Where there's no rules and anything can happen.
Were they going to be in a no disqualification match?
Where there's no rules and anything can happen.
Or was it going to be a hardcore match?
Where there's no rules and anything can happen.
I'm looking at this, and that's like my highlight of the night, because I'm just kicking back, and I was relatively quiet tonight because I was mainly just working on a cool graphic for tonight's episode here, and you guys are gonna have a chuckle when you see the graphic, but I'm just kicking back working on that, and I'm just seeing what some of you guys are saying, and I'm just and I'm hearing the options, and I'm the fuck, you don't have a damn real pick right here. The result is the same. Who the hell's gonna vote for this? It's really? And I can just picture little Jimmy, mommy, I want you to vote for the no false count anywhere match. I want you to vote for that, mommy, please. And it's yeah, kid, your voice is really gonna be heard. You're really, I'm telling you, I would love to get partnered up with WWE's ad management, because those clicks that they're getting, that is money. That is money. You think
the only way that this could have been less obvious were if they would say, pick your choice, a last man standing falls count anywhere match, a winner kills a puppy match, or the winner kills a baby kitty match. You pick what you want to see. I mean, it was to drive them all towards one thing. It was obviously that's what they wanted. They wanted a hardcore match. They wanted it, so they set it up that way. I get it. Just why pretend that I have the authority? And I was thinking that the authority gave the universe the authority tonight.
If they wanted to make it interesting, Titus, if they really wanted to make it interesting, they should have said, no disqualification match, all right? 30-minute Iron Man match, right? And you could have put in a stipulation via the commentators, have them say it on the air, in the result that these guys do go on ahead and they do a 30-minute Iron Man match or a 45-minute Iron Man match. Of course, we're going to have to go off the air on the USA Network, but it will continue exclusively on the WWE Network as part of backstage pass. And once again, this is like one of the main reasons why you should have the WWE Network, because for just
$9.99
you can see great exclusive stuff like this. I mean, who the hell is doing the marketing for this? I mean, you're trying to drive the WWE Network, but at the same time, you're telling people, well, you have the power to choose. That's not choosing. Give them a hardcore match. Give them an Iron Man match. Give me another one, Titus, that maybe or Steel Cage match.
What was really missed tonight and could have made it a little bit more believable, they're in Vegas, for crying out loud. Where was Raw Roulette?
Yeah.
That was the fun of Vegas. So screw the fans voting on the app thing. You have the wheel thing. You spin the wheel. Okay, you're gonna fight. You want to fight Dean Ambrose? You want to end this? All right, let's spin the wheel and see what you get. Oh, you get a Falls Count Anywhere match. At least that would have been in Raw history, and it was, it should have been a Raw Roulette show, and they missed the boat on that one. I don't understand why they wouldn't have done that, but that would have made it a little bit more believable what they were doing. But nonetheless, off the chain, tremendous match. Everything that I expect from Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. An absolute perfect matchup. Dean Ambrose takes a power bomb, a sit-down power bomb, on a pile of chairs. Oh, Lord have mercy! What a spot that was. That just sends shivers down my back. And he kicks out of that as well. It just tables. They had chairs. They had kendo sticks. They had you name it. It was all in this match. They had interference from Kane. What are you looking at?
I see Jimmy Fallon has Bill Cosby on. I'm like, what the? Bill Cosby looks like crap.
He's 117 years old.
Yeah.
We had tables, ladders. We didn't have any ladders. We had Kane. We had announcer tables. I love when Dean Ambrose runs across both announce tables and dives into somebody. That's just awesome. It was chaotic. It reminded me, and I tweeted this earlier, it reminded me of my days at Primo's Hardcore and Wrestling in Denver, Colorado, where there's just crap all over the place. I mean, the only thing they were missing, and this is really in Dean Ambrose, his wheelhouse, where are the light bulb tubes? I mean, that's really in Dean Ambrose CZW background. That's the only thing we were missing was light bulb tubes and someone going through those. Because this was a legit hardcore match. It wasn't one of those new ECW hardcore matches where, he hit him with a piece of paper. This was a true hardcore match. It was all over the place, and the ending was inventive, creative, unexpected. They clearly they had this plan the whole time, and they unveiled a big pile of cinder blocks. Kane holds Ambrose's head, and Seth Rollins comes off of the announce table and does the curb stop on the head of Dean Ambrose right into the cinder blocks. A bunch of the blocks bust. Oh my God, this man has a family, says JBL. What a great spot. Very inventive. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like that before.
I just wish the commentators would have been a little bit more aggressive. Not necessarily Michael Cole, but Jerry Lawler, JBL. I wish they would have been just a little bit aggressive to the point that it's like, Kane, Seth Rollins, you can't do that to that man. Stop. What are you doing? Don't literally.
I actually think I think they did do that. JBL was, the king is there because he's Jerry the King Lawler. I would like to see him maybe ride off into the sunset. Yeah. I think JBL the last few weeks has been great as that heel color guy. He did sell that, I thought, quite well, in my opinion. You're right, Michael Cole, that's not, he even did that to some degree. I thought that they sold it very well. Maybe I was not paying attention as well. If you think that they were doing a good job on commentary, put some comments down below here on the YouTube channel. Hit us up at on Twitter. You hit the RCWR show on Twitter. You can hit me at Evil Genius Titus. Tell us what you guys thought of the commentators, if they did a good job or not of selling that. I think they did. Lee doesn't. So maybe one of us is missing the boat here. So tell us what you guys think.
I mean, it just would have been a little bit more extra icing on the cake if maybe JBL or King, more so JBL. Well, no, like you said, he is doing kind of like the heelish thing and all that, but even he kind of was like, don't do that. I just kind of wish that some of them would have gotten a little bit physical and try to grab on the wrestler and say, hey, don't do that. And you kind of see that physical interaction. And then it would justify Kane being there even more, as Kane can say to them, you go over there and you do your job. You get in this again, and I'm going to have your job. Get over there and just commentate. I would have really liked it if we could have seen something like that play out. That way the commentators had no choice but to do their job, talk about it, and they could be yelling in the background, oh my God, or whatever. But that's why I made the Marty Jannetty reference, because as soon as I saw Dean Ambrose's face just go through those cinder blocks, I'm saying to myself, oh man, this is like the barbershop scene, but it's updated to the 2014 edition.
Yeah.
And no doubt, for those of you that are looking at this and you're like, wow, what a spot that was, in case you might not know, now you know, as we first talked about this last night during the SummerSlam post show, Dean Ambrose is going to be out of action for a couple of weeks, as he's going to be filming a WWE film. And Titus, we're probably going to keep saying it till we're blue in the face, but no matter how you cut it, Dean Ambrose is doing some really good stuff right now. He's got some great momentum going in his favor. I mean, he's definitely going to be able to pick back up where he left off, but when it's so good right now, I don't understand why WWE couldn't just be like, let's just put this movie off on hold even more, until we get some serious downtime, and then maybe we can have him do this. I mean, it's being done by WWE Studios, correct? So to a certain extent, they
have control
the production dates and all that.
Yeah, and maybe the only thing I can think of that makes any sense to me in the scheme of professional wrestling is we do want to draw this out maybe to, Survivor Series, maybe Hell in the Cell, whatever pay-per-views are coming up. Maybe there's a plan there. So by having him out hurt, sells the storyline a little bit more, stretches out the story further out into the future, and when he makes his return, they can have the continuation at the point where they want it to be, because maybe there's a booking reason for it, and I'll accept that. But yeah, he's hot right now, and I don't want to not be on the card when I am as hot as I am. When Twitter blows up because of the hoodie that you wear. I mean, did you see that? Did you get that in your timeline? My timeline, when Dean walked out with his new merch and that new hoodie that he has, I mean, even Victoria, former WWE diva, said she wanted one. I just had like four or five in a row. Just bam, I want that. I want that. You're hot. You're making money. You got new merchandise. You wear it out. Fans blow up for the merchandise. They want to go buy it. They're on shop right now picking it up. They're leaving the arena tonight picking it up. I don't want to be off the show. I'm sorry. I want to stay. I want to make money. And unfortunately, he's going to be off for a untold number of weeks. But it is what it is at this point. Tremendous. Just tremendous match. I loved it. I was hooked from the beginning. I was just enthralled by it. It was just great, and it's exactly what I wanted last night. We got a taste of it last night for $9.99. Tonight we got the whole kit and caboodle for free.
Speaking of making money, and I'm surprised WWE hasn't done this yet. Maybe they have, I just don't know about it. And if anybody that's been to a recent WWE event, like the last time I went, I believe it was June that I went. So maybe it's changed. Anybody that knows you've been to an event since, let me know, and Titus as well. But I'm looking at Bray Wyatt, the Wyatt family, and I'm thinking to myself, how can I make money off of these guys? Like millions of dollars, millions of dollars. And I'm like, okay, everybody is like pushing their freaking cell phones. Why don't we have available at WWE Shop, and when these guys go to the live events, why don't we have these little small Bray Wyatt inspired lanterns, you know, charge like about maybe 25, 30 bucks. And whenever they come out, you can just have one of those things. You know, take your pick. You can just have a good little standard size, or you could have one that could maybe attach to your keychain or whatever. That way, when they come out, you know, I think that's money right there. I'm a little bit surprised that it hasn't happened yet. You?
Well, you know, in this era of professional wrestling, and when you're out to make it, you know, when you look at every single person has a T-shirt, you're absolutely right. However, there is a precedent set on kayfabe with the Undertaker. You know, you don't see Undertaker at Hall of Fame. You don't see Undertaker do a lot of stuff. If you sell merchandise of Bray Wyatt, it looks like Bray Wyatt's cashing in the money, and of course that's counterproductive to his character. He is not into all that. So it's possible, and I'm stretching. I'm going to be real. That's a stretch. But maybe it's just Vince wants this to be an old-fashioned kayfabe character a la Undertaker, where we're going to make this be as real life as we possibly can. That means that, you know, Bray's getting something extra on the side because he's losing out on merch money, but that's the only explanation. I don't see T-shirts, I don't see wristbands, I don't see little lights, I don't see nothing.
Well, I tell you this: if they're gonna go that route, then WWE, they got to do us Bray Wyatt fans a huge, huge favor, which is don't use Bray Wyatt to promote your freaking products. I don't need to be watching the WWE Network and I see Bray Wyatt, the revolution will be televised. You're watching the WWE Network. And then you have him doing a freaking 30-second spot for SummerSlam or whatever, or the last pay-per-view. Don't give me all that. I mean, Undertaker's not doing that. If we're going to treat him like the new Undertaker, you know, then don't do that. That's why I love Chris Jericho so much, because remember
you just
that
put a hole through my theory. You just blew a hole right through my...
Oh, you wanted to go with the Chris Jericho thing?
No, you with the, you know, I had this whole worked out theory about how it's kayfabe, and it's like, and then you have to go remind the folks that the Revolution's televised, which blows my credibility. Good night, folks. See you tomorrow.
Oh, don't feel bad. No. Hey, what Gene did he say? It wasn't my fault. No.
It wasn't my
fault. Remember what Chris Jericho did a couple of years back when he came back with that whole, I call it Nick Bockwinkel gimmick that he had going on, meets Old Man Country, or No Country for Old Men. Remember when everybody was like, oh, is he going to be part of the next WWE video game? And a lot of folks were disappointed you didn't get to play as Jericho. And I remember how he did an interview explaining why he wasn't going to be part of the game, and he cut like a very in-character promo, a very heelish promo, as he was explaining to the person that was interviewing him why he wasn't going to be part of the video game and all that. But then when you really got a chance to speak with Chris Jericho, just the man, you know, just outside of the WWE, he told a different story, which was, come on now, I'm back as a heel. You know, I shouldn't be going towards stuff like that. My character at this point shouldn't be gravitating towards T-shirt deals and action figures, and like there was that time where you didn't see him on that video game. I don't even think they released him as DLC, now that I think about it, because you had a lot of superstar creators. I mean, it was like a nice competition going on. They were doing their best to create the perfect Chris Jericho CAW, and I remember Chris Jericho actually picked somebody out on social media, because one creator had came to his attention, and he like gave it that seal of approval that this is 100% spot on me. But you got to take that same formula, and somebody's got to wake up and go, look, what exactly are we doing with Bray Wyatt? Are we going to treat him like Undertaker? What are we doing with him? Because we're giving the fans mixed signals. Do we want to make money off of him, or we just want him to continue to do his thing? If you want to make money off of Bray Wyatt, then I don't think you should do it with T-shirts, Titus. I definitely think you can probably get away with the little lanterns that I mentioned. You could probably actually get away with Bray Wyatt-inspired Hawaiian shirts and all that, and hats. You could probably get away with that. You might be able to get away with some wife-beater shirts and all that for Harper and Rowan.
Yeah, you probably could. With extra. Do I want with extra or extra grease spots?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, and we had a missed opportunity. He's just tremendous. I think he's just. I mean, small little promo tonight, which again probably was filmed last night at Staples Center. Just he's riveting. When he speaks, you wanna listen to what he has to say, because he gets his character, he gets his role, he gets it all.
Yeah.
And I believe this character probably more than any other guy on the roster. I really believe that he's no longer Husky Harris. He is Bray Wyatt, and this is who he truly is. And I buy in, because I think it's a good it's very well played out. We just got to get something for it, because I feel like we're missing something that just takes us to that next level of his character, because he's just kind of toiling in purgatory right now.
Yeah. Hey, if you guys are enjoying our Fallout recap show here, do us a huge favor and make sure you give this piece a thumbs up. Keep the comments going. I am in between the talk seeing what you guys are saying. A lot of you guys have some interesting questions that I'm very curious to hear how Titus will answer. But continue those comments, and you can share this a number of ways: Google+, Facebook, retweet it. As always, it's one of the many ways you can spread a good word about us. Follow Titus on Twitter at Evil Genius Titus. You can follow us on Twitter at the RCWR Show. So, Titus, what else had happened?
Well, of course, we had the coronation of the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And I believe that you made a prediction last night, and I made a prediction last night. And your prediction was that, was it Dave Bautista would be interrupting Brock Lesnar tonight? Did that happen?
It did not happen, but I can still get this.
Hold on, no. I made a prediction last night.
Yeah.
That we would say goodbye to the big gold belt.
Yeah.
And we said goodbye to the big gold belt. I didn't read a dirt sheet. I didn't read anything. I believe that's been the plan for a while, gearing towards this new WWE this new version of the WWE title. And that's what we had. We have the big gold belt is gone. It's retired. The belt of Flair, the belt of the NWA, the belt of Sting and WCW and Hulk Hogan and the NWO, it's gone. The end of an era. We don't have a big gold belt. But it was a great little segment for Brock. Once again, Brock has the best gig in the world, because he doesn't have to do anything other than smile, look tough, look mean, because he has... I'm going to make a comment tonight that I never thought I would say. that may piss some people off, and some people may finally say, well, Titus, you're just getting on board. Tonight, Paul Heyman took that final step. He is the best manager in the history of professional wrestling. He has passed Bobby Heenan in my mind, and I'm a Bobby Heenan guy.
Yeah, me too.
Big time. But Paul Heyman gave an advanced doctorate degree in promo work, and if you're a wannabe professional wrestler, this is your dream. You're in training school now, or you're working on the indies, or you're thinking about doing it, you need to watch this segment 727 times because you need to memorize how he did it. It was the promo of promos. It was, as you said, there was the slam of the night. It is a Slammy Award. It was tremendous. I wrote down some notes from that. Best line of it was, I am the one behind the one who conquered the one who thought he was the one to beat the one in 21-1. Now, I read that. I didn't have to remember it. I'm jealous because I think of myself as a pretty good promo guy. I think of myself as a well-educated deliverer of content. What he did tonight was so amazing. It was just amazing. The other thing I wrote down is, and it's probably a line that probably got the biggest laugh of the whole thing, my own children are Cena fans, which pisses me off. Paul Heyman. Great promo. Brock Lesnar killed the PG era. That's what I got out of it. I mean, we've seen those posts were up on various websites. Is at the end of the PG era. Brock killed the PG era. The PG era is synonymous with John Cena. Paul Heyman's promo was all about the greatness of John Cena, and if he had some free time, he'd make John Cena a Paul Heyman guy. Yeah. But Brock doesn't agree with him. And Brock Brock is good at what he does, not opening his mouth, and because he has the best mouthpiece in the whole world. Tremendous segment with Paul Heyman. That's how it's done, folks. That's how you are a promo guy. That's it, right there. That's how you do it.
That segment was freaking golden. It's just those little things that I really like. But with regards to that promo tonight, I really loved it when Paul Heyman went, Brock Lesnar. And Brock Lesnar, he looks at him, he's laughing, he goes, do that again. I love it when you do that. And he actually said it again. And Brock is just, I can tell he's just having, like, fun.
I hope so. I hope he's enjoying the hell out of this because this is going to be his last run. This is it. He doesn't have a WWE career after this last contract. I mean, physically, he's in the best shape of his life. I mean, he looks tremendous last night.
Ripped,
he looked. I believe that when he faced Cena a year and a half ago, that he was at 50% because he looked a little chubby. He looked a little out of shape. He didn't look like he was at his best. Last night, he is solid. He looks great. I haven't seen him look that good since his debut. Yeah. I hope he's enjoying the moment that he has, the heat that he's getting, and the love that he's getting. I hope he enjoys it because that's what it's all about in the end. If you go away and you come back, you missed it, and I hope that you're enjoying it for what it is because he is at a great spot right now.
He really is. A damn good spot at that. I mean, talk about the love from the fans, though. I mean, you would think that just a little bit now that maybe it would be a hostile environment, but no, there were so many people. It got right down to the point, people, for those of you that didn't watch Raw, it got to the point where you actually had a chant going on for "Thank you, Lesnar." That was the chant. And you're like, whoa, these people, it really did come off as though with the ushering in of a new championship belt, it really did kind of come off as if we were saying goodbye to the PG era. And it's so funny because not only, Titus, did we retire one championship belt, which was the big gold belt, but rest in peace, the WWE Scratch logo, 1997 to 2014. If you guys that watch Raw, it's those little things that you might have not noticed, but in the lower right-hand corner, you could see a new WWE little network logo. If you had changed the channel off after Raw went off, you missed something really cool because they unveiled a new WWE Network logo. It kind of looked like it had looked like a balloon thing that they had going on, but it was kind of 3D-ish the way that they had it coming about. It was really cool.
The name banners were in like a digital look. Yeah, it's the Vince McMahon Attitude Era is over. And the last remnants of the Attitude Era, the Scratch logo, gone. Big Show and Mark Henry. That's all that really remains for the Attitude Era. It is now the Stephanie McMahon Levesque era of professional wrestling in the WWE, because
that's what that logo symbolizes. Yeah,
that's what it says to me.
Yeah,
Dad don't run the show as much as he used to, and his days are numbered, and we're making this our company. And clearly that's why, I think why Shane left. He didn't have the power play that Stephanie has, and it's what it is. Definitely, it's a new look WWE now.
Let me pick your brain on something here, just for a quick sidetrack. While we're talking about Brock Lesnar still, I see good old Dave Meltzer, and as I always say, take what you hear with a grain of salt. But supposedly Vince McMahon, Triple H, in a friendly way, I don't think we need to really read too much into it, but they can't agree on next year's WrestleMania card. Like in particular, Vince McMahon wants for Brock Lesnar to take on The Rock. Whether or not that's for the championship remains to be seen. Meanwhile, Triple H wants Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. I got a two-part question for you, as if we really need to talk about it, but both matches are very enticing. If we had to pick one, which one sounds better? And then number two, you buying any of what Meltzer is reporting on this one? I'll get the ball rolling real quick. I'll say, as far as the matchups go, I want to see Roman Reigns take on Brock Lesnar. I don't want to see Brock Lesnar take on The Rock, because I just feel WrestleMania would be the wrong place and at the wrong time, because the fans have seen that. Now, granted, WWE, they can try to pretend that it didn't happen, but that's one where you're going to have to rely on the history, because the last time that these two men locked up, and they have not crossed paths since, was SummerSlam 2002. Brock destroyed the hell out of The Rock. It was a damn good matchup. You can see it on the WWE Network right now for just
$9.99.
$9.99, okay? So I think if they were to entertain a Brock Lesnar versus The Rock, what better way to do it than to do it at next year's SummerSlam in New Jersey, New York? I mean, that'd be a good way to do it. It's all fitting. Everything comes kind of full circle and all that. They're back in New York, and just a whole lot of coming full circle stuff. And as far as Triple H, Vince McMahon, I don't think there's problems as some people are reporting it. I just think that because it even went on to say that it was a silly report. It even went on to say that Vince McMahon sometimes belittles Triple H in front. I'm not picking up that vibe. I'm not buying that whatsoever. This is just clearly a case where somebody's trying to make themselves look like they know so much, but they really don't. It's basically like taking a recipe, and trying to add more shit to it to really stretch it out. And all you're doing is making it taste nasty if you just don't stay with the right ingredients, Titus.
Well, with all due respect to Dave Meltzer, whenever I see Dave Meltzer reports, it's generally loosely based on what's going on. That's no knock on Meltzer. He's been around a long time. However, is there trouble between Triple H and Vince McMahon? Of course there is. First and foremost, it's Vince freaking McMahon. He is going to die with his hands firmly around the throat of the WWE. It's his company, it's his creation, it's what he built. So yeah, he's not going to give it up easy. Triple H, Paul Levesque is his son-in-law. Is there ever stress between a son-in-law and his father-in-law? Yeah. So let's not read too much into it. And let's be honest, there's very few guys with bigger egos than Paul Levesque and Vince McMahon. All right, so is there truth to the rumor? Sure. Of course there is. They probably had a heated conversation. Somebody said, oh, well, look at that. They're going to argue over it. Tells Meltzer. Meltzer blows it into something more than it was. So that's my opinion. What do I want to see at WrestleMania? Absolutely, positively, Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. I've seen Rock at WrestleMania in the last three of the last four WrestleManias. He's been involved in one way or the other with the main event. I don't need him there again. He can come out, he can open the show, he can do his little gimmick and do what he did this past year, which is just what I want out of him in a sense of main event. If he wants to co-main event with, somebody else, that's fine. The main event has to be Roman Reigns because we need to be looking at not 1999, we need to be looking at 2019. We got to be looking forward at this point. We can't be looking backwards. We keep looking backwards. Brock Lesnar is looking back, not looking forward. And that's what pisses me off, and I apologize to some of you guys out there. I don't mean to be nasty about it, but you talk about all these young guys, the Zigglers and the Sandows and the Zack Ryders or Wyatt, all these guys getting, passed over for a shot. They're the future. We keep giving Cena, all this push. Well, Lesnar is 10 years out of the business, so where's the heat on that? Same with Rock. So I want to look forward. I want to see that. I want to see that. Do I want to see Brock and Rock? Yeah. Will you see it at SummerSlam? Should be. Won't happen. I think SummerSlam is not big enough for The Rock to be at. He's a WrestleMania or nothing kind of guy at this point. So no, I don't want it to be The Rock, and I hope when Vince listens to our show later on tomorrow, Vince, we don't want this. Yeah. Like Vince McMahon listens to the
Almighty's listening.
It's his coffee getter.
Yeah. Hey, how about that nice attire that Natty was wearing in that match against Paige?
Well, I saw that she had tweeted about that prior to coming out, that it was made by a fan for her. And when you look at that, I think Natty should wear that outfit all the time because that was flippin' hot. Yeah, big time. Natty, we love it. Keep doing it. Tyson, don't worry about it.
Yeah, Tyson, don't worry about it. Sidetrack, he's been doing a good job on NXT in recent weeks. I've been really enjoying his heel turn.
I'm so far behind on NXT right now. I've got to get caught up. I need to have an NXT marathon.
Yeah, you'll like it. Trust me. You'll fast forward through some of the stuff, but there's some nice stuff worth watching, and Tyson Kidd's definitely one of them. Dolph Ziggler lost to The Miz via countout, but he still retained his Intercontinental title as the belt was on the line. Miz invoked his rematch clause. Looks like these two aren't done by a long shot.
Yeah, there was a real serious buzz going through the Twitterverse that Dolph was going to pass the title back over him tonight. This is an insult to Dolph. I love how everybody blows. WWE I saw this. WWE is mistreating Dolph by giving the title back to Miz tonight. How dare that? Didn't happen. React, folks, when there's something to react to. Don't react to Dave Meltzer or any of the quote-unquote, air quotes here, via Soundwave, the news sites, okay? Watch the show. React to the show. He didn't pass the title back to Miz. The match actually ended in a count-out, which I'm happy with. We don't see those things happen anymore. We don't see time limit draws anymore. JR was talking about this recently on his podcast. We don't have time limit draws anymore. We want time limit draws. We want countouts. We want double disqualifications. We want double countouts. We want those things. So I'm okay with it being a countout in that way. It's a unique ending to a match. It's the only one that did it in weeks. So it furthers the storyline along. Miz will claim that he was ducked. It clearly looked that maybe Miz, anyways. I think it was a good match. It's furthering the storyline across. I think we're gonna have some fun with this. So it looks good.
Jack Swagger was in a rare moment tonight as he was without Zeb Coulter for his mouthpiece. Seen in a backstage segment talking with Miss Renee Young. What did we think about his backstage promo tonight? He kind of seems like he's come a little ways.
Well, I tell you what, I was impressed, Jack Swagger. You did a good job. You didn't sound like Sylvester. Suffering succotash, Renee. I was so pissed off at him. He didn't come off that way tonight. Clearly working with Zeb has really... The whole point of putting a guy with a manager, part of it is to keep him settled into place, focused on his job, help him grow and move along in his career. Nobody knows that role better than Dirty Dutch Bentel does. Mm-hmm. So it's really working. He'd had a great little... No, great's probably too much. Good promo, very controlled. It wasn't up over his head too much. He had the right tone. He has a lisp, and he kept it under control for the most part. It's always going to be there. But I thought it was good.
Yeah, he did pretty good. He did very solid.
But where does he go now? I mean, where does he go? It's over for him and Rusev. So where does Jack go now?
Yeah, that was obviously a kiss of death tonight. But I got to get on JBL. For JBL to say the most stupidest thing as they were getting ready to go to a commercial break, you see the footage of Zeb Coulter getting kicked in the head by Rusev at the pay-per-view. And then you see Jack Swagger, he's making his intro, he's getting ready to come out and everything. And JBL goes, "Where's Zeb Coulter?" And it's like, come on now, did you really have to ask that question? I mean, maybe I'm just nitpicking and I'm just beating up on poor JBL. I apologize in advance to some of you that may feel that way. But if we just saw footage of a guy that's like in his late 60s, getting his head kicked, don't you think that the guy's probably sitting that night out? It just, I don't know, man. It was just kind of, shut up, JBL, was what I was thinking to myself as I heard that, And then they come back from commercial break, and I guess JBL said it again or something. Maybe they kind of realized JBL kind of had a mop-up, needed an hour 4, because leave it to Michael Cole to come in and say, Zeb Coulter out after getting the kick to the head by Rusev last night. I was like, all right, I'm glad we covered all the bases, but JBL, sometimes that commentating team, they say the most stupidest things, That's all I have to say with regards to that. But yeah,
as someone who's done commentary, okay, I've done this role before. Yeah. It's not like this. You don't know what's coming, and that's something that you guys have to realize out in Radio Land. JR has talked about it quite a bit, and I've heard Michael Cole talk about it. They don't know what's coming. They want to make it a reaction to what it is as real as possible. So you have to be a wordsmith. You have to be able to come up with that move, because if you don't say that move properly, if you just say, like tonight, Seth Rollins with a power bomb on Dean. No, it was actually a sit-down power bomb, dumbass. You got to get it right. It's a tough job. I think JBL's really grown into this. He is truly a Jesse the Body Ventura heel commentator. He buried Jack Swagger tonight the way I think he should have.
That was brilliant. That
brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. And the type of character JBL was back in the day, that fits so perfectly everything that he was saying.
Yeah, he does some things so well. Yeah, he has a slip here or there. It's to be expected. It's not the easiest job in the world. I'm just saying.
All right. I respect that. But he did rebound nicely. I did love the way he was cracking.
When I've done it, I don't have an earpiece with Vince McMahon screaming, "Dumbass, say this!" So, in all due respect, I think I had it a little easier.
Look. I will take JBL any day over Taz.
Wow.
All right? That says a lot. Okay.
That does say a lot.
I had to choose. I appreciate everything that Taz did for the ECW brand and all that, but commentator, he is not. That's the truth.
I'll leave it at that.
Typical Taz commentating. Oh, look at that. That's cool. Well, you know when I was wrestling. And that's pretty much it. That's Taz in a nutshell. I'm probably going to get hate mail. Send them my way. I want them. Send them all to me.
Yeah, you got to be careful. You don't bash the ECW brand.
Nah, but I will bash Taz. I will bash Taz, the commentator. Get it right, folks. I'm bashing Taz, the commentator, not the wrestler. Big difference right here. One last match, Titus, RVD, Roman Reigns, Sheamus, defeating Ryback, Orton.
Well, before you go there, hold on, because we just glanced over Natty. Natty looked good. She wrestled Paige.
Oh, yeah.
Paige was distracted by AJ. All I gotta say, and I'm gonna quote JBL. You don't out crazy. Because we all were reminded tonight that AJ may be a face, but bitch is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Indeed.
All right, so the 6-man tag team match that you were getting ready to talk about as I interrupted.
Yeah, how about that pop for Ryback, man? That was pretty freaking solid.
Hometown. Yeah. Hometown will do that. They were yelling Ryback rules, and much respect to Randy Orton. He gets buried over and over and over because he's an ass. He's this. He's a jackass. He's all of these things. He heard the crowd. He felt the energy for Ryback. He went to them. And this is not a heel doesn't do this. All right, he's broke character. He broke kayfabe, and he's pretty big about that. Broke character, played to the crowd, and played off. You want to tag in? That was kind of cool. He's in his hometown. Crowd's hot for him. Randy recognized, tagged him in, and a nice little moment there for Ryback, reminding us that there was a time not that long ago that the crowd in unison would yell, "Feed me more." We were big about Ryback at one point, and something happened. We quit being big on him.
Could tonight be the start of new beginnings for Ryback?
He was buried in the match, so I don't think so.
No.
I think he was buried.
Yeah.
He didn't look like he did anything of any significance.
No. It was a nice pop though. It was
good pop.
Yeah. So overall, our thoughts on Raw?
I give it a 6 3/4. That's 7 and 7 1/4. I'll do 7.
I'm doing 6.
Wow.
I'm doing 6. I kind of wish I would have watched the Redskins game, even though it was a pregame. I kind of wish I would have watched that instead.
I'm going to bump it to a 7 because I think that I dogged down on it because I wanted something that wasn't there.
Yeah.
And that's going to be on me. I set the bar a little too high for myself. I think if you go in, it was a solid show, pushed storyline along quite well. Good, tremendous main event. Great promo from Paul Heyman. The promo of a lifetime from Paul Heyman. Excuse me. Great segment with Seth and Dean. And what? It's for charity. Like that's how you do the whole thing. So yeah, I thought it was a good show.
Don't forget the Ric Flair promos or cameos rather. That was kind of nice. Yeah.
The Nature Boy was there. I actually expected to see him get involved in. I kind of expected him to screw Dolph over, heel up for Miz. At that moment, it made me think of that, but thankfully that didn't happen.
So it looks like the man formerly known as SuperCena is going to be returning next week to address his defeat at the hands of Brock Lesnar. What can we expect?
Humble, apologetic. I gave it my best. I never quit. I hustle, loyalty, respect, never give up. That's me. That's what you're going to get, I think. Just the typical Cena cut promo. I think it's going to be. He came so passionately. I'm gonna beat Brock Lesnar, and not only did he not beat Brock Lesnar, he didn't compete. So I think he has some humility there. And what happens? Do we have a rematch? Do we go into the Night of Champions? If we do, how does that turn out? I don't know. I would rather have some reflectiveness on Cena, questioning himself, questioning his 15 times champion, questioning his 10 years, questioning who he is. Maybe go into some dark, lost sort of AJ style sort of gimmick that TNA was running for a little while, which was the best thing they came up with in 5 years, and they blew that whole spot. There's my dig at TNA for the show.
I'm thinking about it, and what we watched at SummerSlam, it was a combination of two things, and I loved how I made the death of Superman reference. And Titus, I love you, man. You show me a freaking comic book image, front cover. It's the death of Superman front cover, but brilliantly inserted in place of the torn Superman flag is a torn C Nation shirt, color green, and I love that whole design. That was freaking badass. But playing off of last night,
I saw it and thought of you immediately.
I love that. I love that. And those of you that don't know what we're talking about, just follow us on Twitter. You'll see it. It's hilarious. Actually, it's even part of the thumbnail for this episode, which you guys will see once the show's over and everything. But, for me, it had a combination of two things. Number one, death of Superman. And then number two, it was Rocky getting his ass whooped by Clobber Lang, So for me, looking ahead, I'm saying to myself, Titus, I agree with everything that you just said. Cena's going to come out. He's going to be very apologetic. Yes, I let you guys down. I let myself down. I just don't know what to tell you guys. I've been at this hard for a long time now. I've been and I'm going to use this word that probably the guys in the back don't want me to use, but damn it, it's what I am at the end of the day, which is a pro wrestler. And he's probably, I would like to see that type of a passionate promo, come from John Cena, and then kind of basically go, I just don't know what to do with myself now. I think I might need to take a little bit of time away and figure out if maybe this is something I want to continue to do. Titus, I would love to maybe see the Nature Boy Ric Flair pop up, talk to him, and be like, what's going on with you, man? I just saw you a couple of weeks ago. I gave you props for being the man. You know the old saying, in order to be the man, you got to beat the man. And what's going on with you? Why are you acting like
this? I think actually that segment would be better if it was Hulk Hogan over Ric Flair. I think Hogan matches up that was seen in that aspect. And who knows? Maybe something like that could lead us to what I perceive is going to. Until I see otherwise, I believe Cena Hulk Hogan is going to happen at WrestleMania.
Well, you know what? Stretch it out then. Ric Flair talks to John Cena one week. Then you have Hulk Hogan talk to him the next week. You have Brock Lesnar be in a position where he gets physical with the Hulkster. Actually physical. I don't want to see no damn stare down. I actually want to see Brock Lesnar get ready to F5 this man, and then John Cena comes, tries to help out the WWE legend, And then basically John Cena challenges Brock Lesnar for a rematch at Night of Champions.
That's the only, that's the only match that they have with Lesnar at this point. There's no other matchup. There's no other matchup with Lesnar.
Yeah, yeah.
No, nobody is capable of beating him on the roster right now. John Cena is the top guy. If you go with, no bias here, or nobody biased either way. If you look at the roster as it's been designed and how it sets, he sits upon top of the WWE for 10 years. Mm-hmm. Paul Heyman just put that whole thing in our head. Everybody falls under. Nobody can beat Brock Lesnar. I'd actually think it'd be much cooler to have no one challenge Brock at Night of Champions. That, I mean, sell the. I don't want to touch him. I'm not interested in. I'm not touching that. No way. I like my career. Hey, Mr. Money in the Bank, Seth. There might be a night. I'm busy tonight. I'm not stupid. I think that would be, and maybe you have, that. You're not going to be Dean Ambrose, who's a crazy son of a gun, but somebody who's just, stupid challenging him because he just doesn't know any better. But I think it would be better to have no one challenge him. Sell that whole. Nobody wants a piece of him because nobody can take him. Sort of a feel to it.
I got a challenger. Woo woo woo.
Mama's boy. That's a better challenger.
Mama's boy. Mama boy Totino's or whatever the hell that damn thing is. That dude, I like that.
Speaking of Brock, I got a question here from Reza Ramon over on Twitter. He asked, do you guys think Brock should be the one to retire Kane one day?
Yes.
He destroyed Taker, destroyed Cena. Yeah, that would be the right person to do it. Well, that or Undertaker. I mean, I think that the legend of the Taker Kane thing, buried alive match or something, burying his brother, that would be apropos. But yeah, Brock's the kind of guy who could destroy Kane.
Dude, I'm so tired of Kane. I'm like, what are they trying to do with this guy? I mean, at one point he takes off the damn mask. He's like, Mommy, I don't want to play no more. And then the next minute he's back out in the damn sandbox playing with the kids again. I wish they would just keep some type of consistency going right here, because
I would rather them use a real permanent guy to be the director of operations as opposed. You can have Kane be your monster. You pull him out of the dungeon whenever you need a monster, but this back and forth, it's like they can't afford. It's like you work at your company and they say to you, "Oh, Lee, we had to get rid of Bob in operations. Would you temporarily take over Bob's job until we can replace him?" And yet a year goes by and you're still temporarily taking his place because they don't want to replace him because they got you to do it now. That's kind of feels like. We got Kane. He's our monster. He beats up people. But, we need anybody, to be director of operations, but we have nobody to fill that role, so we'll just bounce him back and forth until we figure it out. That's how it feels. It is. It's kind of tiresome, but it is what we have, so whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Let's see.
What kind of questions you got sitting down there in the YouTube world?
Yeah, I was kind of interacting with a few people off and on. Jason wants to see Brock versus Goldberg. Didn't we already see that?
It was legendarily the worst match in WrestleMania history. Only any entertainment brought was by the referee in the Battle of the Bald People. Was Stone Cold. That was the only reason that match was worth the crap.
Yeah.
No, the only match anybody wants to see with Bill Goldberg at this point is him and Ryback.
Yeah.
Built-in heat right there. Goldberg was great. I think what happened was that Goldberg got used wrong in WCW, came to the WWE, and it's a different world in Vince's world, and it's run differently than it was. Very much more structured. Nobody has. Very few people have pull. Where in WCW you had pull. I had pull over here. You had pull over there. He has pull with those guys, and it was a cluster. But yeah, Ryback, Goldberg. I think that could be a mess waiting to happen. That might be worth. That's a car accident we all want to watch happen.
How much respect did WWE had for Goldberg? I still remember the episode. It was Raw. Bill Goldberg was in a backstage segment, and he had the weirdest interaction with Goldust. Goldust took off his blonde wig, put it on Bill Goldberg. Bill Goldberg looked like the most ugliest tranny I've ever seen in my life. That's how much respect the WWE had for Bill Goldberg to put him in that type of a silly segment. So they don't.
WWE does not care for WCW.
No.
They respect Sting. And Booker T.
Point, yeah.
NWO, mainly because Triple H is buddied with Kevin and Scott, so they're part of the NWO. Yeah. So is Waltman. Yeah. But you watch any of the stuff on the network when it comes to Countdown, you'll have the bottoms, 7, 8, or 9, or 10. The obligatory, we have to put something WCW here. Put this up there. Yeah. It's there's no respect there.
Hellbound. No, I'm gonna skip that one. Hellbound. Here's somebody new. SH, you know who you are. You got a cool avatar of Damian Sandow and the Genius. I don't think Reigns is there yet. Maybe in a few months, but he needs an edge to his character. I think this is with regards to seeing him at the main event at WrestleMania taking on Lesnar. We agree with that 100%. We kind of said the same thing last night.
Yeah, he does. And last night he showed that he's capable of handling some pressure. Work on his promos a little bit more. He's got the talent is there.
This comes from Jason. It's directed to me, but I'm going to direct it to you, Titus. Do you think Triple H will turn on Lesnar? I think Batista and Lesnar will fight, and Triple H will help Batista win the championship.
No, I don't think so. Dave quit, quote unquote, and Hunter will not let him forget it. Plus, if you see the way they brought Batista in January, they brought him in as a babyface. They packaged him improperly as a babyface, and it didn't get over. So now he goes and releases this really popular movie. People want to see more of this movie, and he's a big part of it. He quit on Triple H. Over the last couple of months, we've really hated Triple H even further. And so he comes in to be anti-Triple H. He gets over as a babyface.
I've yet to see that movie, too. I gotta
I
gotta try to check it out. CJ, Cena needs to turn into the Sting version in WCW. It's coming. You watch. And AJ and Paige reminds me of Mickie James and Trish Stratus.
Cena was going to become the Sting version. Is he going to paint his face white and black and hang in the rafters?
I don't know.
I think what he's going. I know where he's going. I'm being a smartass. I think he's talking about Sting being disenfranchised with WCW and being distant and far off. The same thing that TNA was doing with AJ Styles. I think that's what I was saying earlier. Is that's what I would like to see is Cena, not the anti, but in quite the opposite, being more of a I'm a fraud, I'm a fake. You put it perfectly. When Rocky lost to Mr. T, he found out that he had been beating all these J-Brones who weren't really top guys, and the top guy came beat his ass. Well, it was all for nothing. It was all fake. I think that's what you see in Cena. I would love it to see it that way. Not that it would happen, because I don't know what the WWE is planning, but him question, man, I thought I was beating all these guys, and I thought Lesnar was just some guy who, good thing he left, because I'd have beaten him too. But I'm a second. I'm the best guy in a second-rate, era, and I'm nobody.
Hey, John Cena, he needs to get back that eye of the tiger. And I tell you what, with his friend Apollo Creed and Big E Langston and Jose Lothario as his trainer, he'll be able to fight Brock Lesnar again soon. Oh, God. That I cast that new movie so perfectly well, didn't I?
You did.
Let's see what we got here. Chi Love, Lee and Titus. I have 2 questions for you guys. And Chi Love asked the question twice, Titus. Twice. 1, who is your favorite Shield member? 2, which diva would you want to sleep with? Laugh out loud.
All right, I'll play along. My favorite member of the Shield is I can't because I am big fans of all 3 of these guys. I would probably say I'm a bigger fan of a little bit more of Dean right now than I am of Roman Reigns, but I could easily make the turn to more Roman, and was earlier more Roman Reigns than Dean. Seth plays third fiddle for me. Very, very. He is X-Pac to the group. I believe Roman is the Nash, Dean is the Hall, and he's the X-Pac. And that's not a knock. That's just that's his role. And I'm an X-Pac guy. But I'm back and forth between Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns. And right now, what Dean's got going on is great. It is top notch. Diva I'd like to sleep with. I guess the question would be current or of all time.
That's a better question.
Current would probably be Lana, because I'm all about Lana at this point. Of all time, that's a toss-up. Depends on what mood you catch me in. I could easily go for the bad girl and just take Lita. Could definitely spend a lot of time with Trish Stratus. Love me some Stacy Keibler. But Maria, for whatever, it's the red hair. It's the red hair. That's the tightest weakness. Maria would be one of my all-time faves.
I'm the same when it comes to the Shield. I feel that, because I ranked them before a couple of months back. I had Dean at number 1, Roman Reigns at 2, Seth Rollins at 3. There's just something about Seth Rollins I just can't quite put my finger on. He's not really quite there yet. He's on the right track, but I don't see everything full circle with him just yet. But he's getting there. But Dean and Roman Reigns, I mean, these guys, they're doing a good job. They are doing a superb job. I'm with you, man. I mean, just who he reminds me of. I mean, he's got a nice little bit of Brian Pillman in him. He's got just a little bit of Jake the Snake Roberts in him. I can say that I was fortunate to check out just a little bit of his work from CZW from over the years before he came to the WWE. So I've definitely been a fan of his work. Yeah, I got to go with Dean Ambrose, man, hands down. Diva, I got to tackle that the same way you did, man. Current and like in the past. Oh, man. There is something about Natalya that I like. You know, for me, I like blondes. I like my blondes a little thick, and I like that. In the past, it's a toss-up, actually. It's a 3-way, and I can't believe I just said 3-way.
I was going to say, really? You're going to walk there?
It's a 3-way. Beth Phoenix, and I know she's, you know, like happily married, kid on the way and all that, but...
Kid here, too, by the way.
Yeah.
You get to fight Edge for her.
Right, yeah, but it would be Beth Phoenix. Don't ask me why, but Sensational Sherry. There's just something.
You
Something.
like the bad girls.
Yeah, I like the bad girls. I think, and also, um, oh man, Luna. Rest in peace, rest her soul. Luna Fasan.
That's a scary girl.
Yeah, those were my picks right there. That's what I would go with. Weird picks, I know. Honorable mention China before she butchered her face and all that.
Which China?
Not the China that did the porn. The China that like first came into the WWE.
Not first, because she was butchered the first one. I think that China, Intercontinental Champion China, when she used to have that cannon that she would shoot off in the ring,
That was a good version.
Sexy. That was a good version of her.
I actually didn't mind original version China. You know,
she had some real butch.
Kind of hard to look at in the face. Yeah. You know, as long as it's the right equipment in south of the border, that's all that really matters. And as we all have found out, what a lovely South she has going on down there. It's yeah. So anyway, let's get to some more comments. Try and keep it clean for you guys here. Let's see, Jamie, Haley, and Titus. Felt Raw was average tonight. Okay. I'm going to skip ahead, Jamie, because I know you. You recap everything in a couple of paragraphs. So let's just jump ahead a little bit. Question. There we go. Do you think Seth Rollins will cash in the Money in the Bank contract? And if so, who do you think he will cash it on?
Well, that's an easy answer. Yes, he will cash it in.
Let me help him out a little bit.
I'm being a smart ass. Of course he's going to cash it in.
I like it. Let's clean up his question, though. I think what he's really trying to ask is two-part question I think he's trying to ask, which is, number one, who do we see Seth Rollins cashing that Money in the Bank briefcase on? And then most importantly, will he be successful?
Roman Reigns. After WrestleMania, no. He will be one of the didn't get it done crew he'll be the third person never to win. I don't think you don't start the Roman Reigns era with an immediate loss to somebody in Money in the Bank. That derails the Roman Empire. Seth doesn't need to win. He's already won. And what I mean by that is he is not relegated to mid-card status. He's an upper echelon performer, main event status type of guy right now. It's not about wins and losses. It's not about how many championships you have. It's, did I make an impact? Did I make money? And did I do things that entertain the crowd? He's starting to make money. He's entertaining the crowd. He's at the top portion of his game at his age, his workload that he's done. He's won.
This is a shout out to, and I want to make sure I pull his name up here. Here we go. This is a shout out to Veriz181. Probably not pronouncing that right. Look, man, we respect everybody that comes to our channel and interacts with us. We try to have it be a very friendly community and everything. But when you start calling people stupid and all that, that automatically gets you blocked. You automatically get on the blacklist. Now, I got to pull up his exact comment here. He basically had said that we're stupid, or specifically because I'm the one that actually gave my thoughts on Seth Rollins and all that. I'm stupid for saying that Seth Rollins isn't that good. Now, don't put words in my mouth. What I said was Seth Rollins, he's coming along very nicely, but that there's just something about him right now at this point, as we're talking tonight, I can't really fully get behind and say at 100% This is a guy that's going to do a very good job in carrying the company. This guy is still getting on-the-job training, just like Roman Reigns is, just like Dean Ambrose is. The big difference is, and you can see this for yourselves, if you've been watching this trio long enough, who's been able to adapt, who's been able to learn very quickly. Dean Ambrose at number one. He's been doing a very superb job in adapting to the WWE universe. Roman Reigns, the same way. And Roman Reigns started off, God, I thought that when Roman Reigns was first starting, Titus, I thought we were about to see like another Mason Ryan.
Yep.
I love Mason Ryan. Mason Ryan, we had the fortunate pleasure of interviewing him. You know, and not a knock to him. Not a knock to him. We are actually buddies with him on Twitter. Not a knock to him. But just the position that Mason Ryan was in early on.
Too soon.
It was much too soon. And I was getting that same type of vibe from Roman Reigns, but WWE, they stayed consistent. They just stayed the course with Roman Reigns, and now look at where he is. Those guys have been able to adapt very quickly. Seth Rollins, unfortunately, is in a position where he needs a supporting cast to really help get him over, somewhat similar to Randy Orton. Okay? Whether you want to admit that or not, that's up to you. But do not come on our channel and call us or call the people that are interacting here, our great community at that, stupid. There is no such thing as a stupid question or a stupid comment. It's only kind of silly if you don't put it out there. It's okay to disagree.
I'm gonna interject, Mr. Sanders. Yeah. The whole point of having a conversation is I was tweeting with somebody earlier who said he doesn't always agree with me, but he respects my opinion, and that's the whole point of this.
Yeah.
I see things one way, and I'm entertained in one way. Lee is entertained in a different way. I like redheads, although I'm married to a blonde. You like blondes. You know, if we all thought the same way, well, this show isn't necessary. We don't need to watch Raw because we know what's going to happen. It's what we all like anyways.
Right.
Having a varying set of opinions is fine. The stupid comment is the one that you made about people being stupid. Because I have an opinion. And I'll tell you something. My opinion, out of the thousands of YouTube shows that are on, the thousands of radio shows and podcasts that are on, only a small portion of those have experience in the ring. Now, I didn't work in WWE. I did not make it to TNA, so I failed. I get that. I'm the first one to say that. But I tell you what, I've taken a bump. I've taken a kendo stick to the head. I've bled in the ring in front of a crowd. I've worked a crowd in front of 2,000 people. I had delivered promos where I had people telling me to go do horrible things in a back corner with my mother. F your mother, to be particular. So I've done this business. Now, that's my opinion, based upon my experiences and my knowledge and my career in professional wrestling, but it's also as a fan. So you don't have to agree with me. I'm not asking you to. I'm just asking you to, you have an opinion. I want to hear your opinion, but you don't get to share your opinion now because you were a bonehead. Hopefully, you can come back and redeem yourself and move along and join the conversation. Love to hear your opinion on what you think about Seth Rollins, just not tonight.
Just not tonight, yeah. And when we ban your ass, you're banned for 90 days. All right, 90 days. So if you want to get back on our good graces, it's funny too because I pulled this guy's comment history, and for the most part, he was actually pretty good. Why of all the nights he decided to be stupid? I don't know. Let's see if we can find some more comments from you guys before we close it down for tonight here.
I love dissenting opinions. I truly do. I can't state that enough because maybe I didn't see something. You know, I'm getting old. I'm getting a little crazy. You know, I didn't see something. Maybe I missed something. tell me what you think so I can see something differently. I may still see it my way. That's okay.
Exactly.
I happen to like John Cena. I don't particularly like SuperCena. I like John Cena, and many of you don't. I'm okay with those of you who, say I am just tired of seeing Cena win all the time. I get it. I understand that. But to post on Twitter, I hope he dies now. Come on, the man has is earning a living, doing what he loves to do. Couldn't we all be lucky enough to have that?
Yeah. 3 really good questions, and we'll
All
close.
right.
All right, 3 really good questions here. Magna, do you think Paige is adding bi-curious?
Yes.
Let's clean that up a little bit. Do you think Paige is adding a little bit of a bi-curious edge to her heel character and using it to win matches? She was very flirty with Natalya during her match and with AJ Lee last night.
I think that there is an edge there. Whether they're going to explore it much more, in depthly, I don't know if we're going to have a bisexual or lesbian character, but she's definitely on that edge, isn't she? I mean, she's right there, kind of teasing it.
It's kind of reminding me of a popular OVW storyline that did a fairly good job going there. It was with Taylor Hendricks and Heidi Lovelace, and that was pretty freaking awesome. You guys need to do some homework online if you don't know what I'm talking about. Gamer, he has a very interesting question, but I mean, there's a very short answer for this one, buddy. I asked this last week, but it didn't get answered, so I'm asking it again. If Eddie Guerrero never died, where would Rey Mysterio be? Because Rey only got his big push due to his death. I'll tell you exactly where Eddie Guerrero would be right now. He would not be in the WWE. He would probably be down with Rey Mysterio and Alberto Del Rio and Triple A doing the damn thing, quite honestly. I don't think Eddie Guerrero would still be with the WWE by now.
Eddie, had a gimmick in WCW, speaking La Raza, and that was Eddie. He was all, he was very proud of his heritage. He would probably, I think he would have better ties with WWE. I don't think he would be. I don't think it would be a nasty breakup. WWE when he was being disrespected in WCW, they opened the door for him as part of the Radicals and opened the door and let him in. I think it's a good chance that he might have gone to AAA. I agree with you, Lee, but I don't think he would have left on a sour note.
Yeah, exactly.
And that tells me, in my opinion, that WWE isn't racist. There was love for Eddie. They clearly were making checks for Vicky Guerrero for years and years and years to help the family through all those things. I think Eddie would have been there. Yeah, he would have done something with AAA most likely. Ray, I wouldn't say that Ray got his, where he is because of Eddie's death. Eddie's death might have put him over the top sooner, or a little bit bigger. But Ray has a name for himself, and it's for due to his work. I think maybe they capitalized on the storyline a little bit because of Eddie's death, but I don't think it was he would be in wrestling purgatory for Eddie being alive.
Yeah,
because the two of them had some really good matches, some really good storylines involving Dominic, Ray's son, just some really cool stuff they were doing, and that was top-notch stuff.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I lost the other 2 comments. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick.
We're going to fire you.
Yeah, I know, right? Maybe we should get a volunteer that can follow the social media activity here
We
on
need a
YouTube.
really hot, intelligent woman to handle all of our questions.
Hmm.
Kind of like Jimmy Kimmel and Adam Carolla had the really cute girl with questions on the Man Show back when the Man Show first started.
I gotta give a shout out to Matthew Ruiz. He says, "Hey guys, great show tonight."
You passed right over that.
I went way over that. Great show. He did say, "Hey guys, great show tonight." Real quick, the show was good. Dean and Rollins ending the show was amazing. Keep up the great reviews. And Lee, I'll be picking up a RCWR shirt at the end of the week. I like that. That's very good. You do know we have a store. All the money goes into show upkeep and all that. So, everybody like from time to time, "Hey, love you. You got any merchandise?" Yes, we do. Check out the link in the episode description. Titus, we need to talk because I want to start getting some designs going and see if maybe we could make a unique design be available on the store. And, we could definitely give you 100% of any profits that come in for that. I think that'd be
Yeah,
kind of cool.
we'll talk.
Yeah, that'd be a really awesome idea. I saw two really good questions, and I cannot find them for the love of me, man. I think we might have to end the show. Wait, Ramon, I love him, but I believe the King at times, his commentating is pretty done. Pretty. What the hell are you saying here? I love him, but let's skip all that because that sounds confusing. King doesn't speak up as much as he used to, and his jokes are now way too PG. I've gotten used to JBL and Cole. I consider them okay, but JR and the King combo is definitely much missed. That was a trend that I saw in one other comment from somebody, Titus, who said exactly what I was thinking as the whole spot with Ambrose was going on, which was, man, to have had Jim Ross there selling the hell out of that. By God, don't do it! No, don't do it! That would have been really freaking awesome.
It would have been, and we have to move on. Jim Ross is the best commentator of all time. It's going to be hard for anybody to do it better than that. I thought that JBL and Michael Cole did a very good job. I would encourage WWE to encourage Jerry to take a role as the Hall of Fame Legends, coordinator, but he's got to get off. He has to get off. He's telling the same jokes from 1997, which in 1997 were freaking hilarious. I've just heard him over and over and over and over again, and he's stale. That's the problem. He's stale. He's nothing new to offer to the show. And that happens. I mean, it does. I mean, I would rather JR be gone than JR to flame out the same way, because it happens to all of us. Even the greatest hitters in the world, Ty Cobb, could not hit the baseball anymore. Babe Ruth quit hitting home runs. Hulk Hogan can't slam Andre the Giant. It's the circle of life, and it's time for Jerry to take a smaller role. And that's hard to say.
Yeah.
Hard to say.
I actually looked at like every single comment that's coming in. Whatever I thought I was seeing, it's no longer there. Maybe we answered it and they deleted it. But that's it. I mean, you guys can continue the conversation. I mean, I see comments, but it's just little short sentences, nothing really too, hook and sinker to talk about for a couple of minutes. But
my Twitter's empty tonight too. So
yeah, it's all good. There's one topic I wouldn't mind talking about, but I don't want us to go into any more overkill or overtime rather. I wanted to get your thoughts on the transcript that came out from an interview that Alberto Del Rio had. Did you have a chance to check that out?
I have not read it yet.
You know what? We'll talk about it next week then. I'll send you the link. He actually had conducted the interview on a Spanish news station, and he talked very candidly about a lot of the things that had happened without revealing detailed information. But he talked very candidly about everything that came about with his WWE release. And it was a good read, man. I'll send you the link. Those of you that did not get a chance to check out that interview, again, it was all done in Espanol. However, a cool person had translated it, so I'll make sure you guys get hooked up with the link down below in the episode description. Final thoughts on the new WWE logo. Rest in peace, the whole scratch mark thing, 1997 to 2014, and the ushering in of a new championship belt, Titus.
You know, it's all things do come to an end. For those of you that are a Star Trek: The Next Generation fan, that was the last episode of that show. Yeah, all things come to an end. The big gold belt is gone tonight. The scratch logo, which has been a part of WWE for a long time. But, you know, before the scratch, there was the block letters, you know, so things change. You have to refresh yourself, keep yourself relevant and new. I don't hate the logo. I'm not necessarily, oh my God, that's a fantastic idea. Who did that? It's fine. I'm not offended by it. I'm not jazzed about it. I'm indifferent about it at this point. It is officially, it feels like Stephanie and Paul's show now. It's their company in many ways. The struggles are going to continue within the creative side of things. I was serious when I said before that Vince will die with his hand around the throat of the company. That's where he goes. I mean, he's awake right now working in Titan Towers, and he won't go to bed until about 5 a.m. That's what Vince does, even at his age now. He lives and breathes this company. So it's being transferred. It's a new era starting, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing. I think we need to the thing that's kind of confusing is it's a new era in WWE with an old face in the top of the heap, so that's a little confusing in some ways. But it's an exciting time as a WWE fan because it reminds me of the pre-Attitude Era days. I read the list of guys who were in the Attitude Era roster, and that was a hell of a list. We have guys who have some real potential. We have potential, you know, Hall of Fame caliber talent on the roster right now. Let's see how it all comes together. The thing that the Attitude Era roster has that this one doesn't is a sense of unity and working togetherness. I always think of that picture in the back of the bus with all the boys from that time frame. The back of the bus out in Europe, they're all drinking. Even Taker's in that picture. They knew that they, as a team, could make this work. This roster needs a leader to kind of say, let's do this, let's take this to the next level, because it's a new year, it's a new era, it's a new championship, it's a new logo, it's a new network. They have a lot of things to do, and it's exciting to watch.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. I'm a little bit sad that they got rid of that logo, you know, because, I mean, but at the same time, I can see and relive all the great moments of the Attitude Era and before that on the WWE Network. And I'm not going to do a cheap plug. I'm just saying we can relive it. Those of us that lived through it the first go round, for many of us, the moments are still fresh in our heads. Others, the moments are there, but we kind of need a little bit of a friendly reminder. So it's actually kind of good to be able to go to that WWE Network as opposed to YouTube, and maybe you have to hear somebody's commentating, annoying commentating at that over a video that they've uploaded, so you have to tolerate it, or their version is grainy or whatever. Practically every single moment you could think of, you can just grab it on the network, and you know, that's kind of cool, you know. But yeah, it really does come off as though we are ushering in the Stephanie McMahon, Triple H era of the WWE. And honestly, I think the company is doing very good, Titus. I think it's in the right hands. Whenever Vince McMahon does decide he wants to let it go, or if he passes away while still holding on to it, the company is going to be in good hands. But I agree with you 100%. You look at this roster that's going on right now, and you compare it to the roster from the Attitude Era. I mean, you had like the Dream Team that was going on that roster, and you just look at today's roster, and it's not like how the Attitude Era roster was. Hell, it's not even like the roster from the 80s or the roster from the 70s. There's only but a small handful of people that you can go to and be like, you know what, this is definitely going to be a person that is going to help the company out for years to come. I give WWE a lot of credit for what all they've been implementing within the recent months. I mean, it really goes back to when the Shield and when the Wyatt family first came up. That beginning of change, everybody was complaining, same crap, same crap. We need to see new characters. And WWE said, you know what, we got this little thing over here called NXT. We got some talent that's doing pretty good. Let's test these guys out. Let's see how they do. If it works, great. If not, well, business as usual. And the NXT promotion, developmental promotion at that Titus, it's proven to be that good sweet spot for them to go to, test out key wrestlers, do right, bring them up to main WWE programming. As since the Shield, since the Wyatt family has come up, we've got Bo Dallas. We had got his work, his gimmick needs a little bit of tweaking, but Adam Rose, no doubt we're probably going to be seeing Sasha Banks, Charlotte,
The Ascension.
The Ascension. I mean, it's really a good time to be a WWE fan because they are listening. It might not really seem like it, but, you know, the powers that be, they go to the beat of their own drum, you know, and it might not come when you want it, guys, but when it counts the most, they are making those changes needed. I mean, I think it's safe to say, Titus, and probably like about maybe, I dare say, maybe about 5 more years, it's going to be a very interesting WWE because I'm making a bold prediction right here. About 5 years, maybe a little bit less, we're not going to be seeing the Rocks. We're not going to be seeing the Hulk Hogans. We're not going to be seeing the Bret Harts. We're not going to be seeing the Chris Jerichos all dominating, looking to get a nice little decent payday while plugging their little side work on SummerSlam, main event, WrestleMania, or Royal Rumble. I think it's going to be a completely different landscape in about less than 5 years max, where WWE is going to solely be relying on their new stars.
I think that you are off. I think it's sooner than that. I think that this roster by WrestleMania 32 will have taken over the entire, with what's in NXT, with what is not in NXT that I've seen on the indie circuit right now. That will be the next block of NXT guys, and they're looking right now. You need to know this. There's a lot of guys I know who've had tryouts with WWE and told not right now. There's a difference between being told no and being told not right now. Not right now means we got to figure some things out. We got to find a spot for you, but it's not now. What's out on the indie circuit, the next block of NXT stars, what's in NXT now, and what has already come from NXT, that Performance Center is the greatest idea ever in professional wrestling, in my opinion. And that's Paul Levesque. That's his baby. That's his creation. And it's a brilliant one at that. It's a brilliant one. So I know we're way late and way over, guys, and I apologize for that. But I think it's this is a reason why this show was tonight. Is this is significant moment in WWE history. It's the first step to the closing of Vince McMahon's WWE and becoming the vision of what Paul Levesque and Stephanie McMahon Levesque want for the next 40 years. Get on board or just stop watching, because Stephanie is, she's 40 years old. Paul Levesque is 40 years old. Vince is almost 80. So 30 to 35, 40 years that you're going to be seeing Stephanie McMahon out there on Monday Night Raw. And she'll be hated, and she'll be loved, and she'll be really hated, and she'll be really loved again. That's how this business works. We've loved Vince, and we've hated Vince. And this is the first chapter the first chapter of the last book of the Vince McMahon story, and it's a good one. It's a good one. I think there's a lot of stuff going on. I'm really excited. Like there's a lot of people down in NXT right now that there's no space for them right now. The Ascension is one. Charlotte's another.
Yeah.
Sasha Banks. I could just go on with those that are in NXT right now that they're ready to come up. There's just not a spot for them yet. So it's going to be a really fun couple of years to kind of watch this grow. And if you missed the Attitude Era, if you're too young to go, I didn't watch wrestling, wasn't allowed to, your parents might not let you watch the Attitude Era. I know my kids wouldn't be watching WWE if it was the Attitude Era. That's for damn sure. I don't need my 10-year-old watching bra and panty matches. Sorry, I can like it. He can't. But for those of you that missed the first years of the Attitude Era, when you had, instead of you having badass Billy Gunn and Road Dogg Jesse James, you had the Roadie and you had the Smoking Guns. That's where we are. A year or two away from those two guys getting put together and being the New Age Outlaws and being offered, hey, you want to be a spot in DX, and then the rest is history. We're at that Smoking Gun and the Roadie time frame right before the Attitude Era. We really are that next great era of professional wrestling.
Good words, Titus. Good words. You guys continue the conversation down below. We'll both be taking turns interacting with you all throughout the course of the week. Titus, unfortunately, won't be with us next Monday. Definitely give him mad props, because we did not one, not two, but 3 shows in the span of
36 hours.
36 hours. So while Titus rests, we do wish him safe travels, as he's going to be
no rest for the wicked. He'd be traveling.
Yeah, safe travels. And me, unfortunately, I don't get to take a break. I'm going to be doing the radio edition of the RCWR show later tonight, now that it is Tuesday morning. And then we got to come right back here on YouTube Wednesday, as Impact Wrestling has now moved to a new time slot. So we're going to come on immediately after it goes off the air. They're still coming on at the same time, 9 p.m. Eastern. They'll be going off at 11, so as soon as that ends, we'll be coming on. So check out our radio edition. We're going to be going a little bit all over the place. You can catch that this Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern over on Spreaker. Links are in the episode description below. And then you TNA fans, join us exclusively here on YouTube, 11 p.m. Eastern, Wednesday, or as soon as Impact Wrestling goes off the air. Do us a favor, follow Titus, because you need to make it be your business.
Evil Genius Titus on Twitter, Mr. Titus Machiavelli on Facebook,
yes.
TitusMachiavelli.com. New poll question out today. What was your favorite match/moment of SummerSlam? Get your votes in. Tell us what you think.
I got to cast a vote on that one then. Yeah, that's what's up. All right, guys, that's going to do it. Thank you so much for staying up late with us. Special shout out to The Gamer, who noted that it was 6 a.m. over in the UK where he resides. Thank you so much for staying up, Gamer. Appreciate that support. As always, from our fans in the UK, Shiva, got to give you a shout out. You watch us all the way from India. Titus, he said he's been checking us out for the past 9 months, loves our content, watches us every week, said that we piqued his interest into wrestling again. Much love to you. Thank you for checking us out, and wherever you may be, thank you for joining us. We'll do this again. As always, be safe, be kind to one another. We'll see you next go round. Everybody, take care.